submit.
But for now,
Malulu Njendi.
but for now,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I arise also to support this motion, in spite of the fact that I received so many messages, so many calls, advising me to reject this bill. Mr. Speaker, one of the callers is a young man who is my neighbor. So he told me he has read so much on social media and he feels I should say no. So I asked the young man, why are you saying I vote no? Why specifically? So he told me like the price of bread has increased from 45 to around 90 shillings. So I told him, which type of bread is this? Then he was talking of 400 grams bread. So I just told him straight, go to the shop and find out what it is presently. Mr. Speaker, I noted that there was a lot of misinformation to our youth, the so-called Generation C, that is causing them even to riot on the streets. Mr. Speaker, why I support this particularly is because of the direction this country is now taking. I'm realizing now, when you look at this finance bill, what I'm seeing now, this country is going the direction of consuming locally produced products. Because what it's doing is giving room for local producers to do the manufacturing of the products that we usually import. And Mr. Speaker, this in itself will actually improve the economy and will also create employment in our country that we are suffering from. And why I'm saying this, because I'm seeing there is a tax or a levy on eco, something called eco-levy. This is actually to discourage importation of finished products and encourage local production. There's also a tax on clinker that's coming from out, so as to encourage our local production. And when this is happening, most of the persons who will benefit are the very youth, actually, who are demonstrating in the streets. And they have been misinformed, because when this is happening in this particular country, most of them then will get employment. They will not find themselves idle in the streets, so as to be vulnerable as they're being used by some persons, some leaders in this country to actually push their agenda. Mr. Speaker, this country, I see a situation where now we want like to take off. Because I recall countries like Malaysia, countries like Singapore, we were with them at the same level. But them taking to this route, they have taken off. They are far away from us, industrialized countries. So this is the right route, and I want to advise Kenyans that we have to be patient with this particular country, and if they want to know that we are on the right track to development and even to our own benefit, they should see what has happened. You know, previously when this government took over, the price of bread was so high, the price of unga was so high, the price of maize was so high, you know, but currently now these prices have come down because of the policies this country is taking to. So if Wananchi will give this government and this country, the leadership, some time, all this that we are crying about will stabilize. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the chair of Finance Committee. There was an issue on eatings, invoicing. You see, the factories, I'm hosting 2 factories, sugar producing factories in my constituency, that is Botali and West Kenya. The 2 factories, the directors came to my home complaining about the eatings, what it was to farmers. And they were arguing that if they do this, there will be double taxation to the farmers, the cost will be pushed over to the farmers. And when you look at the whole process of developing e-tax, e-teams, it was a whole cumbersome process that even most of the farmers who are illiterate could not manage. So when I called him, he told me, he asked me to ask them to come and make their presentations, and they did their presentations. And I'm happy, I want to tell the farmers, the e-teams has been struck off. The issue of transport of cane from the farm, the factory, has also been struck off, because this cost would be passed over to the farmers, which I'm now telling the people of Malava that I represent. There's no need for me to say no to this finance bill, because it's the best for us for this particular country. And Mr. Speaker, we have also asked for so many things. I remember when the CS was making a presentation here on budget, there were so many things we were for thumbing, because they were good for us, like, for example, electricity connection. This is now a moment for us to raise funds to actually get this connection to our villages. Otherwise, I support Mr. Speaker. Thank you.